Hi, my name is Andrew Santiago, and here today with me I have my mother, Melissa Garish,
Hi.
and today we're going to be talking a little bit about literacy. So, to start off, how would you describe literacy?
Um, I guess there's a basic definition of reading and writing, but definitely goes much further than that. It's people diving in deeper to what they're reading, what they're watching, what they're listening to. I mean, literacy is everywhere around us. It's crafting your own ideas or making connections to other people's ideas and relating to it. And it's an outlet for people. People don't realize that, or at least not everybody realizes that there's always that, is this an interest for me? Do I enjoy reading? But once they find some of those personal connections, then they really can start to understand and find favorite pieces, whether it's a movie, a song, or a book.
Okay. So, what are your experiences with literacy?
Literacy is around us every day. So every day I'm experiencing literacy. As a young child, I always enjoyed reading and writing. English was one of my favorite classes to go to. I enjoyed being creative. I enjoyed, playing on words and listening to what other people had to say. And then I took that experience and, decided when I went to college, what is it that I wanted to be? And I wanted to be a teacher. And I decided to become an English teacher so that I could help others kind of find that same love and passion, hopefully, for reading, writing, listening, speaking.
Okay. So, is there any piece of literacy out there in particular that stands out to you?
I've taught grades 4 to 8. Most of my time being with 8th grade students, and we've read The Outsiders and The Giver, and they're two of my favorite books to read with those students. Besides many poems and short stories and whatnot, but they're totally different books. Yet they allow the students to kind of dive into a deeper meaning about what life might be like during hard times or hardships, and that sometimes you have students in a classroom who are experiencing something similar to these things, and they can again make those personal connections. They can relate. It also goes back in time, so it allows you to teach a little bit of history to the kids while teaching something that's timeless, something that's a storyline that will almost forever, as somebody would relate to. And then with The Giver, you're looking at things in a totally different perspective, thinking about all that you have and all that you're allowed to do on a daily basis, and then to have those freedoms kind of taken away from you, but not know it. And the students are always like, I could never live like this. And then it makes us realize how lucky we are to be as free as we are.
All right. So, talking about more with your students, what is your favorite part about teaching your students, and something that you hope to impress upon them as you teach them literacy?
My favorite part is just watching the process. As an English teacher, when you're teaching writing, you're always talking about that writing process and how you have to brainstorm, how you have to draft. And drafting is the most important part, hand in hand with brainstorming, just getting all of your ideas out and realizing that you might start off in one place thinking you were going to go down one path in your writing and this is what you want to do, and then scratching that and starting all over again, but having it be like the best written piece that you've ever found. I just want them to know that there's no like right or wrong answer. It's a messy business. It's sloppy. As long as you keep working at it and revising it, that's when the masterpieces are created. And it's okay to let yourself fail. It's okay to, ask for help. It's okay to get inspiration from people. It's okay to look things up and hope it triggers something in you. And that it does take time, and that sometimes we rush. We're always about rushing in life, and we just want to get things done. But it's something that you have to come back at if you really, really want to work at it and make it not necessarily perfect, because I don't think anything's perfect, but your best.
All right. So, do you believe that there is a best way to teach literacy?
There's a best way. No, just like there are many different types of movie genres, many different types of genres within books, there's many different approaches. And everybody can bring something to the table and try it in a different way. So I love that students get to experience many different types of English teachers, and those teachers bring what they're passionate about, or ways that they're to instruct that they in a passionate way, and then students ultimately can be the teachers at times, like show books or novels or short stories or poems to their teachers that they also enjoy, that maybe we haven't even come across. So it's that sharing, and there's no one perfect approach. There's many different strategies, but there's no one best approach.
Okay. Now, how would you personally describe my literacy journey as someone who's been a part of it?
I think, the normal start out, you're teaching you words and, articulating them so that you can hear them. But then as you got older, processing that, pulling that together. When we would sit down and do homework, I would ask you to talk me through your ideas first. And I think that's so important. People want to go right and jot into the paper. So with you, I made sure, let's talk it out first. Let's get our ideas. Let's think about it. Well, is there a different way to say that? That would be, a more creative or more mature as you, grew and grew. And then ultimately, when it came time to writing, you needed less and less of my support because we had built your vocabulary. We had talked about things. And that allowed you to, grow in ways now that you're able to talk to others in a very mature way, hold conversations, write very formally and organized. So it was just baby steps, but a lot of conversation, and we read a lot. We read bedtime stories. We, even when we watched movies together and it wasn't necessarily books, we discussed it. Well, what do we think? Well, what do you think's going to happen next? We made predictions even in movies. We connected to lyrics and songs, and we often talked about that maybe in the car as we were going, from place to place.
All right. So, building upon that, what do you think influenced how you taught me literacy?
I think just part of it was that I loved it, and I always did well with it. So I wanted you to know that, you can enjoy it. So I wanted to make sure I always made it enjoyable. And I also knew how important it is because we're always reading and writing in every aspect of life. So I wanted to impress upon the fact of you that I wanted you to do more and more of it, to grow and grow with it, so that one day you would be successful and it would just almost come naturally and become easy for you.
What do you believe was a major influence on my literacy journey as I grew?
I mean, in the start, I would say myself, just because that is what I believe in. But really, ultimately, I think it might have been your theater experience. It got you out out on the stage. It got you in front of people. You really don't have a shy bone in your body, but I think part of that is because you can articulate yourself so well. You can show your emotions well. You do understand things. You can hold conversations with people, and you listen. And that's a part of acting as well, and taking directions.
Do you believe that you have more to teach me?
No, I think you're good. I've seen a lot. I mean, there's always more to learn, and I hope that you do that on your own. I think at this point now you can take the reins and go, but I think that my role in that has ended. I mean, we'll always be connected because we'll always have conversations, which will help, I guess, ultimately your literacy experiences grow. But step-by-step pieces, no.
And for my last question, is there anything you would change about how you taught me literacy?
Anything I would change? I guess we always could change everything. I don't know if one thing particularly stands out to me. I think it was a really good approach, and because I look at you and I look how successful you are with your writing and speaking and listening skills, and I think that you're good. You're very well off.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
My mom.
Bye.